Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kelsey, and I am a traveling embroidery artist, and this is a week in my life. I'm not a mother, but I do craft. We are starting off this video strong. I am going to the Valentine's Day event at the boutique that I work at. I normally work here on the weekends whenever we have events going on, and it went great. I met lots of great people, and working at this boutique has really benefited me a lot. I met a lot of great people that consistently come by. But after I got done with that, I went home and had some dinner and decided to keep working late into the night. My boyfriend was working late, and so I decided to work late too. I am cleaning up my sewing room currently because it is kind of a disaster, as you can see. But I needed to get some work done and have a busy weekend ahead of me, so I am cleaning things up and getting some sweatshirts done. I have a very large custom order that I've been chipping away at for the rest of this month. On Monday, I am showing you this clip from me at work. I took my sewing machine to work and decided to sew all of these frog pieces together. I was supposed to be getting the makeup bags also stitched up, but this ended up being incredibly time consuming. I was a bit distracted, but I really don't mind because any progress is good progress, and I made about 21 frogs. So I'm showing you guys all the fun patterns, but I had a lot of fun kind of figuring out what buttons to put on them and what to use for their tongues and pairing up. But as someone who grew up on stuffed animals, I'm obsessed, and the fact that I get to make fun little frogs is the best. I am going to eat some lunch pretty much. This is the first thing I've eaten today, but I'm gonna eat some lunch, and probably it's gonna be avocado toast. On Sunday, I went to an antique mall with my boyfriend because it is right next to the Walmart by us, which is weird. But we went to Walmart and we went to the antique store, and it was amazing. That place is actually just like it's really nice, and there's a lot of good vendors in there. And I got this mug. I don't know what it is, but I freaking love this thing. It's so tactile, and it honestly, it looks like it wouldn't feel good in your hand, but it does. It feels so good. This is one of the things that I really wish that I could do. I currently am only allowed to do one hobby because it's kind of taking over my life. My one hobby right now is chain stitching, if you couldn't tell. And pottery is something that I have always wanted to do. I recently went to a pottery class and then also went and painted the pottery too, and I am obsessed. I'm trying not to think about it too much because it's not only is it really expensive, but it's also incredibly time consuming. Because I try to keep busy and use as much of my time as possible, I normally bring way too much stuff to my job on Monday, and so that involves having to unload my car, and I feel like I unload my car and reload my car every day, it seems like, because I am a traveling artist. But I am currently sewing up the butts of these frogs, and the process that I use for this is essentially putting rice in the feet and the hands and putting some synthetic stuffing in the arms and legs and the body, and doing a little teddy bear stitch to stitch up the butt. But I am now working on those sweatshirts. This is that big custom order that I mentioned earlier, and there are almost 200 of these sweatshirts that I need to get done. So there is a lot to do. And I also ended the night with some signage. Try to refresh my signage and try to make it new, especially for the different seasons, just to make it a bit more eye-catching. And this box that I use for my bandanas needed to be redone. This is Biscuit. He is a friend to all, and he is my orange buddy. If you know Biscuit, you love him. That's just how it works. It's too cold. I can't open the window. It's literally snowing. I can't open the window. I just had to load some things into my car and it is really cold. I had to get like fully bundled up to even like survive out there. It's 14 degrees right now. I don't know why. But I loaded some things into my car to kind of lessen the load that's in here. There was a lot of clothes in here. And a lot of that stuff was priced and just needed to go on the rack because that's how I'll be transporting all the clothes. I am now back inside in the warmth of my home and working on some things for this weekend. I am prepping for a very large vintage expo, sewing up frogs, making some pre-chain stitched items, and kind of just letting my mind go wherever it goes, and making some of these things that I don't really know if people are gonna buy. You never know. I at least never know what people are gonna want. Sometimes I think I know, and then it's the exact opposite. And sometimes I make something and I think nobody will want it, and then people are busting down my door to try to get it. So I put some olives on this tote bag, put some ants on this pot holder. I also decided to take a little breaky poo and chain stitch some carrots on some pants. These are my personal pants. I don't plan on selling these. I actually bought these jeans a while ago and got some ink on them and never ended up wearing them ever again. They sat in my closet and I just hoped that I would eventually do something with them, and today is the day. I decided to stitch these little carrots, and here they are. I am really pleased with these. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow, I have to set up early for the event that I'm doing. It's a very big vintage expo, so you're allowed to go into the building and set up your stuff a day prior to the event, so that whenever you show up on Saturday, everything is good to go and it looks beautiful. Yesterday, I worked on making frogs, and I also worked on just making some one-off chain stitch things so that people can buy them off my rack. This is something that I really struggle with, making one-off pieces, because you just never know what somebody is gonna like. And to me, I think that like the things that I would think are cool are maybe not what everybody else would want. So I try to do what I think other people would want, but I think I'm tired of doing that, and I think that I just need to trust my gut and just make stuff that I think is cool. So I'm gonna show you guys what I made. I made this sweater out of some like block letters. This is a quote. It's kind of cliche, but I'm currently reading The Artist's Way on audiobook. I'm listening to it on audiobook. And this is a quote from, I don't remember his name, I'll include it here, but I really like this quote. And I really hope that somebody gets this. It's kind of like scary a little bit, and like almost looks like kind of like biblical, but I really like it. I also did this. This is just a piece of applique fabric that I cut a long time ago, and I just decided to add it onto this sweater. I also did this tote bag. I embroidered some olives on there, and then I did all of you on there. And then I also embroidered these shorts. It's kind of hard to tell. They're supposed to be like heart-shaped cherries, but they're like little booty shorts, and they have little cherries on the butt. And the last thing that I was working on yesterday is actually these overalls. I just added this little heart, but they had some pretty crazy holes in them, and they're still pretty good quality. I mean, especially for white overalls, they don't have very many stains. They just had a lot of holes. So I patched them up with these little pieces of fabric. I'll include the girl who made those patches. I'll include her Instagram somewhere here. She is really cool. I met her. She kind of just makes these like free mind patches out of like old fabric, and it's really cool. But I got these from her, and I asked her if it was okay to put these on these pants. I plan on doing other things to these, like other chain stitch additions, but I am gonna ask her if it's okay. I'm gonna get to basically just chain stitching whatever I come up with onto some of these garments, and I also need to clean my house. My house has been disheveled for quite some time now, and we have guests coming, and that is just unacceptable. I decided to end the day by painting some blueberries on these pants. I painted these pants and then became absolutely addicted to fabric paint, and you will see all of what I painted in a future video. But the next day was setup day, and this is something that I really love about this Vintage Expo, is that you can come in the day before and set up. And this year I'm sharing a booth with my best friend Bella. Her Instagram is at lovelettervintage. She's got some really cool stuff. And I did not get any footage of the actual event. I am really sorry. It went really amazing and beautiful, but I did not get any footage. And this is me at work on Monday. I wanted to give an update. I did do that Time Travelers event, and I had so much fun. It's always so much fun to do that event. I've only ever done it once, but it is truly a great experience. They really put your vendor fee to work, and the people that are running the event have your back, and I really appreciate that. But I did sell quite a few things. I sold a lot of random things like tote bags that people got embroidered, and I sold a lot of those screen printed patches. But I did not sell a lot of my pre-chain stitched items, which is something that I was really pushing for this event specifically. And I don't know exactly why I didn't sell the pre-chain stitched items. Some of them were a little weird, and maybe that's why, but you just never know what people are gonna wanna buy. And I got a lot of engagement on some things, and then nobody bought those things that I got the most engagement on. But it's really just like a flip of a coin. You never know what people are gonna like, but I am really happy that I was able to save some things from that event. So now I have a few more things that are pre-chain stitched that I can sell at other markets. So that's the positive side of things. Yesterday I worked at my job. I only work there one day a week, and that is on Monday. Today's Tuesday. I have a little bit of a late start today because I had therapy, but I have the rest of the week to finish some things up. I have 60 bandanas for a concert venue that I need to get stitched up, and on Friday I'm dropping off these sweatshirts that I'm stitching. I was actually able to get quite a few of them done the past couple days. I don't have any footage of that, but it's the same stitching, the same thing that I've been doing. So gonna be working on those, gonna be working on the bandanas. And as far as my something fun that I'm gonna be working on, I honestly am I'm not necessarily feeling burnt out, but I am feeling like I need to do a bit of resting. I think that I might do more painting. I haven't been painting as much, and I really, 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 really enjoyed painting those pants that I made, the blueberry pants. And I actually sold them at that Vintage Expo that I did, and was very happy that somebody actually thought that they looked like blueberries. But I think that I want to do a little bit more of that. I just really loved making those. It was so much fun. And I really like painting. I love it. It makes me feel something. So we are going to be stitching sweatshirts, stitching bandanas, and maybe painting today. I have some curtains that I tried to paint a while ago, and I didn't really read the instructions on the fabric paint that I used, and I left them out. I left the curtain out and it rained, and now that curtain is ruined. Back to square one on that, and after this week, I'll be able to breathe. I will be able to breathe. But I'm working at the boutique on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I'll be stitching at that music venue. The bandanas are for the music venue, but I'm also going to be vending at the music venue. So it's gonna be a loaded day. But next Wednesday, I'm doing a private event for an event planning company at like a restaurant. It'll probably be like a smaller event, but I'll be doing that. So I'm kind of just like figuring out how to relax after all of the craziness that was last week and preparing for last week. I'm really sorry because I kind of gave you guys a little bit of blue balls, maybe a little bit of clickbait, and I didn't get footage of that vintage expo, and I feel really bad about it, but there was a lot going on. And I will be ending the video here. I am still stitching these freaking sweatshirts. I'm very grateful that I have lots of work, but stitching the same thing over and over again is definitely not my favorite thing to do. But I'm very grateful for the work, and I am just really glad that they picked out pretty colors, because that is very, very fun to stitch pretty colors on pretty things. And I am very grateful that you are watching this video. I am still really trying to figure out what format works for me and works for what I'm doing. But I am just really trying to share what I've got going on, because I feel like I'm running around with my head cut off. And it probably also seems like that too. And I'm hoping that maybe by watching these videos and doing these voiceovers, I watch myself struggle and I can figure out a way to help myself do things better. But yeah, here's the bandanas that I was working on, and thanks for watching.